Good morning, happy Friday, happy weekend, happy Lockdown 2.0, Universal Pause. And what else is exciting today? Oh, it was like spring-like yesterday, so it's an opportunity to get outside if you haven't felt like it already. Hopefully it's as warm today. Today's reading is Look for the Divine in Everyone. This makes me smile because the action of namaste that we do in yoga classes, that Western people do at the end of yoga classes, is actually the divine in me looks at the divine in you, or the light in me looks at the good in you. It's the same. And what's beautiful is I'm going to generalize, in a lot of Eastern cultures, there is a bow to each other instead of shaking hands. And to me, I think it's beautiful. It's a little bit more spiritual than shaking hands. It's a pause. It actually means we're also not touching each other. So maybe that will become our shaking hands in our culture. However, in the last few years, there's been a movement in the yoga world to stop with cultural appropriation. And there's a theory that Indians or people who invented yoga would not be saying namaste or saying hello to each other at the end of a class. We use it as a symbolic sealing or finality of that class and a touch point that the goodness of the interconnectivity of each other. Some people make fun of it. If you see a tea commercial, it talks about calmness and Zen. They immediately show that action. So some teachers have stopped using it. They've just said, thank you for a good class, and ended it. And it feels still incomplete, unfinished. So I'm still going to use it. I still think it's a beautiful touch point of the good in me sees the good in you, that we are the same. And if we look for sameness with people in our lives, there would be a lot less war, fighting, strife. So today's reading is Look for the Divine in Everyone. As you move through the world today, try this simple but meaningful exercise of looking for the divine in everyone. Maybe even every time you stop and see somebody and you have a moment, and it's hard to not see just physically what the divine is in somebody, aesthetically. If you have time to see the next level, go for it. The divine, which means something different to everyone, is something that inspires us spiritually or that we hold sacred. Divine can be found in nature, in the universe, and in the deep connectivity we all share as living beings. Look for the divine in people you know and love, and acquaintances, in people who challenge you, and in people you don't even know. Say you're stuck in line. Sometimes seeing the divine in someone can have as much to do with what is in your own mind and heart as it does with the attributes of the other person. Try this for a day, and the more you seek the divine, the more you will find it. And that's interesting because I often will try to see, I cook with a woman who is a psychotherapist, and I said to her, yeah, whenever I don't energetically resonate with somebody, I always try to figure out what is it that I don't like about that person. Maybe instead of fixating on that, I need to flip it and find the thing I do like about that person. It's a little harder. Just like, oh, question for you, can you please leave a good review for me on Google? Google the Yoga Nest or Google Yoga in Aurora, and the more good reviews you have, the more you appear on the page, and it really helps a lot of small businesses. I've been encouraging people to do this with every favorite restaurant you love, even shoe repair, hairdresser, any services that you use. Specifically local businesses, if you would please Google them and leave a nice review, or even the 5 stars plus the review. This is a free way that you can help small businesses, especially during COVID. So without further ado, I wanted to work on things that lengthen the side body. A lot of us have been sitting for a long time, and my cousin said she read this thing that someone said they saw it also on Google or on their Facebook. There's a theory now that the more you sit, your body mistakes it as preparing to die. Because when you're winding down your physical life, there's a lot of sitting and stillness. And I've witnessed this with family members that have passed away, and so it kind of makes sense to me. And a couple years ago, the Surgeon General even added that a seated job or sedentary life, 8 hours a day, whether it's from being retired, lazy, working, whatever, is similar to the body and life ending as smoking a cigarette. So the Surgeon General wanted to add processed meats, bacon and processed meats, cigarettes, and sitting as all kind of equal terrible things for heart health. So who knows? let's come onto the mat. We're gonna do a bit of floor work. We're gonna do some poses where we get to stretch that side of the body. And the idea that the more I sit up, gravity is taking my body when I'm sitting too much, and it's like an accordion. I think of it as pressing down that tissue between each rib cage, which ultimately is compressing how much air I'm receiving, which ultimately means I'm not getting as much energy, which ultimately means we often will search for coffee, alcohol, too much sleep to get that energy. So you already have the energy. Let's just open the accordion, more space for breath, and especially good during cold season. So coming back to the mat, I'm gonna come back here so I can see you a little better. Coming into seated Sukhasana. Let's take 5 breaths here as like a mini meditation. Meditation does keep showing up as a huge benefit for longevity. Close your eyes. Sit back just a little so that we turn on the core and ultimately turn on hip flexors, lower back, quads, glutes. All these muscles working together for me to sit upright. Now I want to add some more space for breath. So I'm going to pull my shoulders back as far as comfortably I can without falling over. Elbows pull in slightly. And just rest the palms on the thighs or knees, depending on the length of your arms. Head is stacked overneath my neck, so I'm not jutting my neck out. You might even pull back just a little so that you feel like you have a double chin. Feel the sits bones grounding into the earth, and I feel the maybe tightening of the sits bone, the glutes as you're sitting upright. This takes effort. If it hurts to cross your legs, maybe uncross one or both. Start to notice your breath. Did you run in here? Is it jagged? Is it already relaxed? Are you congested today? What's the quality of your breath? And just by focusing on it and maybe counting to 5 as you breathe in and 5 as you breathe out, we are able to slow down and improve the quality of each inhale, exhale. Find a place where the muscles can support the bones and you can sit upright so that you can focus on your breath. Deep inhale. Pause at the top of the inhale. Exhale completely like a deflated balloon. Pause before taking your next breath. Big breath in. Pause and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Pause. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Pause. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Pause. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2 more rounds without my voice. On the next exhale, start to gently blink your eyelids softly and coming to open attention. Welcome to class. Let's start with our legs crossed. Arms to the side, reach up. Hold that imaginary beach ball, maybe even look up at the sun or the ball, depending on your neck. We want to slowly wake up the mobility of our neck. Lengthen, and I feel my sits bones root down, engage the core slightly, and then there's that deep stretch down the side that we likened to opening a paper accordion or a lantern. Lengthen up, and exhale down, but don't drop in the side. This feels kind of phony in my body. Inhale up, reach for that beach ball. Oh yeah. Pause. Don't lose the stretch we just created. Again, you drop your hands without losing that stretch. Feels weird. And one more time. Inhale up, beach ball in the sky, reach up, open the side accordion. Now let's arc slightly to the left without tipping. There may not be a lot of movement. And back to the sky, reach up, arc to the right, don't tip. Back to the sky, reach up. Tiny pass behind you. Oh. Back to center. Let's turn the ball to the left. Woo! It's like our body is a pepper shaker. Back to center and turn to the right. Back to center and release. Oh, did you feel that in your shoulders? Okay, I'm gonna switch my legs. Left hand drops to the mat. Right arm reaches, lengthen like I'm trying to reach for something, maybe a piece of fruit on a beautiful tree in Italy. And then I'm gonna come to the arc, on a diagonal, lengthen. And then I might even go into the full arc. Listen to this side of the body as it lets you expand, but not tip. Look to the ceiling under that right arm and back to the center. Why is this knee killing me? Left arm up for first, lengthen, straight up. Option to come on a slight diagonal, lengthen, and then arc. Look to the ceiling under that left bicep and come back. Now I want to continue, I want to add legs. So right leg in, left leg out. Reach up. Engage your core, sit up nice and straight. Maybe feel like you're gonna fall backwards. Look up. Left arm down. Right arm up straight. Diagonal. And then arc. Oh, our ballet class, look at the ceiling under that right bicep. And release. Right palm down. Here's what we're gonna do. It's gonna feel like dance class. Left arm up and open. And then back down. We're gonna do that again. Inhale, up and down. And maybe this time when you do it, you are able to swing the arm around. That's what I call it the Pete Townsend, the guitar arm. Inhale, up, option to come all the way around. Oh my gosh, so tight. And come back down. Let's do the other side. I'm gonna shake it out in between. Either jiggle the muscles. Years ago we talked about there's a whole movement towards, instead of stretching muscles, to jiggle them. And if you can completely relax your legs and then jiggle the flesh around the bones, it definitely agitates it. Think about shaking a snow globe or a washing machine, or when you shake up a puddle of fizzy water. All that energy going down the muscles. Right leg out, left leg in. Right, left arm up. First straight up and down, look up, spread the fingers, and we're pressing. The blade of the right hand is facing forward. That's an external rotation of this arm. Reach up. Actually, while we're here, let's internally rotate. That feels weird. Back and forth. Now I'm going to go on a diagonal. And then I want to go in a full arc. Now we're going to add the piece where we just did. Rise up and down. And on the third one, we'll be doing the guitar arm. Inhale, up, lengthen, and down. And one last side, this time your choice, if your shoulder's up for it. Up, oh, and reach back and articulate that arm and come back down. Nice. Let's take both legs out. Let's see what tights I'm wearing today. Got a lot of funny comments, which makes me happy. It means you're actually listening. I have had some nice chats with you guys on the phone the last few weeks. I may call you, or you can call me, and it's just nice to have a real discussion and not through this. Sit up straight, feet are softly flexed, and why we do that is it awakens the back of the hamstring. It also turns on all the muscles, so I'm not just schlumping here. My body is just as at attention as my mind. Palms on the knees, shoulders back, sit back, feel the toning and turning on to the front line of the body. Just take 2 breaths here, and you don't have to be as wide as mine are. Everyone's legs are more different flexibility. Okay, let's take our arms to a T. Palms face forward, slowly reach up. And I can feel all the muscles up my back ribs working to support me holding this invisible ball. Lengthen up, maybe pass it behind you, and then slightly forward. So tiny movement. Center, back, center, tiny forward. Center, reach up, back, center, forward. And once more, I can feel this more in my biceps and then in my rib cage. Reach up, pass behind you, and release. Did we awaken what's happening in the arms and the ribs? Awesome. Now we're ready to do what we did in all the other variations. Left hand down, right arm up, lengthen, arc, option to come into a full, lengthen, diagonal, arc. So my diagonal, my arc can be here, or I can roll the shoulder back and look at the ceiling. I'm going to feel a different muscle here. Or some of us are coming to the toe. Or my favorite variation is left arm bends inside, arc, grab this toe, elbow to the ceiling, look up. So this is a revolved pose, and not everyone's going to have that mobility in their mid back or their side body. Roll out the ankles if this is uncomfortable. Fan the toes. Arms in the sky once more. Hold that ball, reach up, smile. Right arm down, left arm continues reaching, picking that piece of fruit. Where is your hot tropical place in your head that you're trying to reach this fruit? And then diagonal, and then arc, and then you have the option to attempt this one. We bring the arm on the inside, diagonal, arc, or attempt to grab that toe, left shoulder back, and look at the ceiling. Come on out, and roll the ankles again. Massage your hamstrings if that was intense. While we're here, we're going to do one more variation. Arms in the sky, holding that ball. Reach up, smile. Now imagine that your grandchild or someone that you really care about is in front of you, and actually partner yoga is a lot of fun. So let me know if you have someone that you could do this with, and I will do a whole partner themed yoga. I'm going to pass the ball to this person imaginary in front of me and stop. It's usually my hamstrings are going to stop me. Reach the ball out, maybe drop your hands if that's too much, and come back up. We'll do that 2 more times. Pick up the ball in the sky, look up. Maybe imagine you're on a beach handing this ball to somebody, and the body is warm from the sand and the sun, and you slide effortlessly giving that ball to somebody. Reach, reach, reach. Drop the palms and come back up. And one more time. Hands up, look up. There's your ball. Hand it across to whoever you love. Drop the hands and come back up. Oh, nice. I'm going to bring my legs together, roll up my ankles. And while we're here, let's do one more thing, and then I promise we'll go to the mat. Inhale up. This time, instead of stretching out, I want you to press those inner thighs to center. We call it isometric pressure. I'm squeezing to something that's not there. There is a variation if you ever have a sore back. This keeps coming up on my physiotherapy feeds. You would squeeze a folded pillow between your knees, and guess what? When I squeeze to center, something happens in my hips and my glutes, especially if you're in a seated job. Holding the ball, look up, lengthen, pass it to the person in front of you, and what's stopping you? Probably your hamstrings. Shoulders drop, hands can rest here or come back up. 2 more times. Inhale up, pass the ball to the sky, and hinge at the waist. Stop wherever it feels it's going to stop and come back up. And one more time. Inhale up and down. Coming onto your mat, remember just as mindfully as how you get up. Bum to heels and slowly lower down. Knees to chest, pull them in as deeply as you can. Listen to your body. Today I'm feeling it in my abdominals, not my hips. Every day is a different experience. That's why we call this a practice. There's no belts to attain like in martial arts. There are no certificates. There's no levels of achievement like in Nia, and other forms of karate, tai chi. Let's take our knees to the floor on the left. Right arm opens to a T. If that doesn't feel good in your shoulder, you're bringing it down to soft 45. Double leg spinal twist. 2 places I want to visualize anchoring. Right shoulder anchors, legs anchor. My ankles are anchored. What that reminds me of is when you have those preserved butterflies and bugs in a shadow box, and they are anchored. Key points of that animal are anchored to the floor or the back of the shadow box. You are a beautiful butterfly being anchored in the shadow box. I notice that parts of the body and the flesh anchor easily to the floor, and other parts are above. Back to center. Pull it in tight, pause, not little boat. We want to break our samskars or our habits. Let's take our knees to the floor on the right. Double leg spinal twist. Left arm to a T or low 45. Excuse me. Back to center. Circles. Let's take right leg in tight. Left leg extends, and I want to just pause here for 3 breaths. I love this stretch on so many levels. Pulling right thigh in, hands are behind the knee if that hurts you too much to pull in your knee directly. Let's do 1 breath with feet pointed, which is going to stretch the front of that left thigh and hip. Inhale 1, exhale flex. Point, inhale 2, exhale flex. And you pull the right thigh in a little deeper. Last one, inhale point, exhale flex. Left hand takes right knee over, single leg spinal twist. Right arm to a T or low 45. Think about those pins anchoring the shoulders and the back of your nails. Back to center and double leg wind relieving pose. Pull the thighs in, press the lower back down. Left leg in, hands are interlaced on the shin or behind the thigh. Right leg extends. First variation, we're pointing. Nice stretch on the front line of the right leg. Drawing left thigh in, toes point. Inhale 1. Flex, exhale. Pressing the back of that right heel into the mat. Did you notice what happened to your glutes, your bum muscles? Inhale 2, point the toes. Reach with those right toes. Exhale, flex. Pressing the back line of the body into the floor. Last one. Inhale, point 3. Notice your calf wake up. Exhale, flex. Back of the leg and the right foot press in the floor. Left thigh draws in. Right hand takes left knee over. Single leg spinal twist. Left shoulder is anchored. Back of the left hand is anchored. What's happening to the muscles in your pec all down the side of the left side of the body diagonally as we take the left leg over. Back to center. Double leg wind relieving pose, not little boat. I'm trying to break you up. Legs pull wide, hands are holding the knees, and let's pause here without purposely stretching. What's happening in your inner thighs and your hips? Let's take 3 breaths here, and I want you to notice that on the exhale is when the inner thigh, inner hip tends to release a little. Without forcing it, eyes are closed, ankles are dangling. Inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. And inhale 3. Exhale. Close your legs. Feet in the sky. Maybe you need to massage your hip flexors or your thighs. I do. Let's point and flex here. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Toes point to your face. Inhale, toes to the sky. Exhale, toes to my face. Back is pressing in the floor. Feels really good. And let's come into cactus. This is for Franca and Dale. Flex, point. Flex, point. Flex, press the lower back and your feet are flexed. Balls of the foot is pressing into the sky. Toes point, big breath in. Exhale, back is pressing in the floor, feet are flexed. Point, flex, point, flex. Can you keep the feet flexed and pull them medium wide, not full potential yet? Let's point and flex here. Point, flex as you exhale, lower back presses in the floor. Point, exhale, flex, pressing lower back in the floor, nails are anchored. Notice that other muscles want to participate. Don't ignore them. We're all connected. Now I'm going to go a little wider, and not everyone has the same range of motion in their inner thighs and hips. Listen to your body. Point, inhale, smile, exhale. Point, exhale, flex. Oh, and look at, I naturally want to go wider. Resist doing what happens to autopilot. Point, flex. Last variation. If you want to go wider, listen to your body. Point, inhale, exhale, flex. Are you able to still soften a little, even though maybe there's some tension happening in the inner thigh? Point, flex, point, flex. Awesome! And now slowly close with flexed feet, coming to this imaginary squeezing of the ball between your ankles, and stop. Rocking side to side or circles, no hands. Let's just roll into a ball on our side. Let your head relax on your outstretched arm, and we'll take a breath here. Pressing upright, let's come into wide leg extended child's pose to continue working with our hips. Next week I do want to do some work on strengthening knees. For years I was told you cannot strengthen knees, you can only strengthen quads. And then I've come across some physiotherapists who have some knee strengthening work. And ironically, one of them is when we do this, but they hold a weight. So that's coming up next week. In the meantime, toes are touching, and normally we try to keep our knees together. Today I want you to keep them wide. Pause here for a moment. And if it's killing your knees, you're going to go right into child's pose. I might stop here for a moment in preparation for wide leg extended child's pose. Maybe you'll go medium and exhale. And then upright, wicked cat, cow. I don't think we're going to do our sun salutations today. Palms under the shoulders, knees under the hips, tailbone up in the air, look up. Slow motion, engage the core, turn it to cat. Tail drops, chin to chest. Push that floor away. The place I most want to stretch here is the place behind my heart. Slow motion, come back through cow, bum up. Head up, look up, exhale cat, engage the core, push the floor away, chin to chest. You may prefer one direction more than the other, go with it. And with your movement and breath and intention, can you equally like both cat and cow? Equally. So that the process isn't love-hate, but like. And come back to neutral. Let's do a little hip stretch from here. I'm going to keep my hands, bring them in shoulder width. Right foot steps behind right hand. And just pause here, look up. This is a variation of lizard and I think dragon. Option to inch from your left leg back a little here and untug the foot. And I don't want to go any further, I just want a gentle left hip stretch. Pause. You want to keep that right knee pressing into that right bicep, the right outer bicep. There's that isometric pressure. If I let the knee flop out, it's a completely different pose. Keeping the right knee, inner right knee, pressing the outer right bicep, and just look slightly forward. Undo, extended child's pose. Last one. Left foot steps beside left hand. Maybe this is it. Left knee, inner knee presses into left bicep. Right knee can stay at a right angle. Or inchworm it back, undo, pause here. 2 breaths. Inhale, exhale. Feel a nice, straight, long stretch of the front right hip and thigh. Inhale, exhale, undo, extended child's pose. Now we're going to do a pose that involves standing, but it keeps working with that extended side body. We often will do this pose with our triangle series. So coming to the back of the mat, right foot steps forward, left foot pivots to anchor, and this is where I'm going to square off this right knee. Listen to your body. Right knee stays in line with the second toe. We use this cue because I don't want the knee dropping in or out. I'm gonna bring my right arm bent at the elbow onto my right thigh, right palm turned up. So this is, the difference between this and a triangle is I have one leg bent. That's actually very supportive. Left arm out, up. So there I'm gonna start here, answer the question, we did this earlier. Lengthen. So I'm starting to lengthen the side body, but now I wanna make it actually in a perfect, beautiful line. So left arm reaches diagonally. Now I'm stretching from this hip out the left side body, palm down as if I was patting somebody on the head, bicep over the ear. I don't want it in front, I don't want it behind. If I want to go deeper, I'm going to roll that left shoulder back and maybe look at the ceiling. Some of us may take a variation here where we take the palm to the base of our head, roll that shoulder back, elbow to the ceiling. Some of you may bring your hand back to your hip if this is too much. Some of you may take your back of your left hand to your tailbone and roll the shoulder back. And there is a bind, but we didn't warm up for it today. And come back up. I'm going to bring my toes pointing forward. And let's go to the other side. Left foot forward, left knee bends, right foot stays anchored. Another cue is the outer right blade of my foot matches the short line of the mat. Left arm to the front of the thigh, right arm up, answer the question. Then I want to take it on a diagonal, reach out, feels from right hip, out the right side body. You're patting somebody on the head. Maybe turn and look at the ceiling. Option to take your hand at the base of the skull and roll the shoulder back, so there's another variation. Option to add right hand to your hip. Option to take your right hand, back of your right hand to your sacrum. Option to come to the left side body or try to tickle your left thigh. And come back up. Very nice. We're going to do one last stretch while we're already here before finishing our very gentle Friday class. Feet are pointed forward. So normally I like to honor my hips. They turn out, so my feet usually turn out. In this pose, I want to attempt to bring hips square, blades my feet square. Some of us might use blocks. Let's pretend I didn't tell you to get the blocks so that we have to use what we have. I'm going to bend my knees enough to bring hands to the floor. This is a lot for some of us. And I might inchworm wider, I might stay here, I might look forward, maybe this is it. Half back, looking forward, bend the elbows back, and start to fold. Half back, fold. Option to take your hands on your ankles and fold, looking between your legs. Option to walk your hands all the way back and fold. And then come back, inchworm your feet in, and we're all going to come into squat. So whether that's this variation or this variation. Coming to a place where you can embrace this beautiful letting go pose in the lower back and the tail. And come on down, and you're going to finish with your own Shavasana. We'll do one last reading to finish off before we start our weekend. Oh, that's not the one I want. Excuse me. I have too many choices. Let's use, how ironic is this? I'm using the Namaste deck. And this one is the one we used to call the tiny writing deck that was hard for us to see in our dark community. Okay. I will shuffle. A blessing from the light. Oh my gosh, we were also talking about the light in me sees the light in you. So many connections. You are dearly loved more than you can possibly imagine, and you are never alone. A universe of love and light surrounds you and showers you with blessings that ebb and flow in your heart, even when you don't feel it. Maybe that means adding more candles to your space. I know that when I want a sense of hygge, H-Y-G-G-E, look it up, it's a fun movement in Norway based on coziness. The first thing they do is lighting candles, creating light in a time of darkness. It's a quick way to add this feeling that evokes love, coziness, relaxation. You can turn that on just by lighting a candle, even if you don't have any other tools with you. Light often is used as a tool in a time of darkness in many cultures. Thank you so much for your effort. The good in me sees the good in you. Have a beautiful weekend. Namaste.